I have a quick update and situation report for anybody who is interested. I am still on house arrest, still facing 3 criminal charges, well, sort of 4. Disorderly conduct, criminal mischief back from just about a year ago now, and then also witness tampering, which is a felony charge, and I'm facing 5 years over just that charge. And then there's violation of conditions of release associated with that charge as well, additionally going on. So 7.5 years in prison, but it's basically all for protesting. I mean, of course they're charging me for other things. They can't call it protesting, but that's what it is, clearly, demonstrably. And in addition to the criminal charges and all that, I've also got 2 civil lawsuits I'm pursuing myself. Everything with the criminal cases is postponed until October, except I have a dismissal hearing in 2 days, actually. But the judge, at the last dismissal hearing I made a motion for and arranged, the judge said, we basically don't dismiss cases. They'll have the hearing, but apparently they won't. Even if they have good cause, they just don't do that around here or something. So, you know, I'm going to use it as a chance to argue to be allowed to amend my bail conditions so that I'm no longer on house arrest, basically. And I'll make an argument for dismissal first, but it really is kind of pointless. And this was confirmed by my attorney, who is now on board as co-counsel, or that's in the process of happening. I spoke with him for like an hour earlier. He was just being appointed now, so it's a huge change already from some other attorneys who I've worked with, who I won't mention. Yeah, he seems like a very good person to have on my team. So that's happening, and but that's the criminal stuff. I have a federal 1983 case against a couple of former deputies of Waldo County. One is now retired, and the other is now a Belfast police officer. And just the other day, he rolled up on me and said that he basically said that he has a right to surveil me and detain me and question me and make sure what he said is he has a right to keep an eye on me and check in with me and make sure I'm complying with my bail conditions, which is, he does not. I did not sign away my Fourth Amendment rights. He still needs reasonable suspicion to detain me. So I wrote a strongly worded, I knew that if I complained to his superiors over there at Belfast PD, they'd probably just encourage him. So I wrote a strongly worded cease and desist letter to the attorney that's representing him in the 1983 case. I figure that guy is probably going to tell him, look, don't go making this worse, leave the guy alone, because I could bring that up with a judge, and I said as much, and say, look, this guy's harassing me. The defendant is, harassing me as I'm trying to pursue this suit. So anyway, there's that. So this officer has not come at me again, so I think that's taken care of, hopefully. And I am in the process of trying to file an attorney malpractice suit against the attorney, Nathan Bell, who kind of got me into all this back 6 years ago, represented me at the first charge they threw at me for protesting, basically, which was terrorizing. And they made it a felony charge because you could see the corner of my gun rack, my antique guns, in the video where I allegedly threatened. I didn't threaten anybody. I just ranted about how much I hated people. And anyway, I used some violent imagery. not something I'd recommend doing, but it certainly was nothing like an actionable threat. At one point I said that I hope a nuclear bomb takes out the store, and that was listed in the police report as an actionable threat, that I use my nuclear bomb to take the store out. Or I didn't even say it was mine. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, this attorney, when faced with such nonsense of a charge, just didn't do anything. Didn't bother to call witnesses for the defense. Just didn't get around to it. Just fell down on the job in so many ways. And so yeah, I'm trying to sue him, and I have a good case, but it's right up against the statute of limitations. And I don't have the filing fee, so I applied to do it without prepaying the filing fee. The judge, normally, if the judge declines that request to proceed without prepayment of fees, they only give you 7 days, is what the clerk told me. And that is borne out by what my understanding from the main rules of a civil procedure. But the judge wrote in, and hand wrote in 30 days. So he denied in other words, he said, we're not going to allow you to do this without prepaying, but we're going to give you, instead of giving you 7 days to come with the fees before we dismiss it without prejudice, but since it's up against the statute of limitations, it might as well be with prejudice. It's now or never. Yeah, so he gave me 30 days. And I'm cutting wood and selling wood. Here's slow going, but it's $175 for the filing fee here in Waldo County, and I think it's $75 for the service fee. And yeah, so that's not a huge amount of money. So I'm going to leave it up to the wood market, and if I end up and my ability to cut wood fast enough. Yeah, if I get that money together, basically that's going to proceed. Otherwise, I guess I'm going to call that a loss. But this 1983 case, I just went through my end of discovery, where they throw all the questions at you, they make you produce all kinds of documents. I've been straight at, it's like a full-time job for most of a week. I split up a little bit, but yeah, I was straight out for several periods of a couple days here and there, trying to get that all together. And I'm on top of it, basically. So I'm keeping this thing rolling. I can't imagine how much it's got to be costing the county, but they are not offering to settle yet. So I just got to keep doing it. And now it's my turn. Now I get to throw a whole bunch of questions and requests for production of documents and whatnot at them, at the two officers. Since I'm not suing the county, I can't even ask for stuff like body cam footage, unfortunately, without moving for it, especially because that's the property of the sheriff's department, not the property of the officers. I can only ask them, but I can still ask them lots of good questions, and yeah, so put them through the ringer, like they just kind of put me, or at least their attorney just put me through the ringer a bit, making me work like that. That's my turn. And in any event, yeah, the lawsuit is still proceeding. So there's that going well. And yeah, I guess everything. I mean, it basically is going well. One other thing, kind of funny thing. I had a hearing over another dismissal hearing back in those of you who have been following my story. Well, if you haven't been, you won't have made it this far into the video anyway. But if back in July, I had another dismissal hearing because I moved for dismissal because the district attorney has not been have not been complying with the rules of evidence. They were out of it and out of it and out of it. I'm out of compliance with it, like the whole way through. And they finally kind of complied with it just before the hearing. Well, yeah. Anyway, and the upshot, the case was not dismissed. That's when the judge said, we really can't dismiss cases or something to that effect. And but he did order the DA to come into full compliance, and also there was simultaneously hearing for I moved for a bill of particulars to clear up what I'm actually being charged with, because it's just like, you know, whatever you did this and this and that's sort of, you know, anyway. So upshot is there was court order to come into full compliance with the rules of evidence by, you know, doing the latest, basically complying with the latest thing they're supposed to comply with, and to give me this bill of particulars, 30-day deadline. It's been almost 60 days now. Nothing, not a peep out of them from it, any of it. You know, they're just, and if I, you know, I could move and get maybe hearings or get a new order, whatever, you know, but I probably will. But it's just like they don't, there's no consequence. They just do whatever they want, and there's just no consequence except the judge says, now you really got to do it, or, you know. It's just absurd how much they're not. I mean, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, and the defendant is supposed to have all the, you know, they're supposed to be bending over backwards for me, to accommodate me, and in certain ways they do. But the way they bend over for the state is just crazy. They let them get away with everything, anything, almost, and they won't dismiss cases. I mean, come on. Anyway, so there's all that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. You know, I'm facing 7.5 years over free speech, for exercising my free speech. That really is what it is. Anybody who wants to argue with me about it, you know, please, you know, I will argue. You're wrong. That's all it is. That's all this is. And I'm mostly preaching to the choir here, but you know, it's like, I don't know. It seems like not because it's me even. It's just like, shouldn't that be like a big thing that somebody's facing 7.5 years in prison for criticizing the police? Very transparently so, too. It's not like they're really even trying to hide this. They don't have to. But almost nobody cares. So if you do, and if you watch this far, then you likely do, even if you care because you hate my guts, maybe, at least you're invested. But mostly, especially to those folks who care and wish me well, and or have, you know, support, you know, help support my cause in various ways. You know, just thank you all so much. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing, and all that fun stuff. And I'm sorry I haven't, you know, been posting more. No internet home. No, blah, blah. Anyway, thanks. Keep fighting.